Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for September the 1st, 2022. September the 1st, 2022. We start the day with, folks talking to folks the way it normally goes, but we have Porsha and Curtis are at the Savoy, and Drew drops in, and they have to tell Drew the good news that they're engaged. And Porsha is so giddy. She just, everybody she shows the ring to, she's, yeah, that's going to be short lived, right? Jordan's going to put a stop to that. And interesting, on Comment Corner, somebody said that Jordan should show some sympathy. And you know what? I agree. She should not tell Curtis. She should go to Porsha, and she should tell Porsha how what she did, how well that really worked, and how it truly ended. And it took TJ a good year or more to forgive her. It really did. And Sean was interesting. Sean forgave her pretty much right off. I think because of Sean's guilt to killing TJ's father, Tommy. And Sean raised TJ from the time he was 14, you know, until Sean went to jail. So Sean had time with him, but he was upset. But TJ was the most upset. But anyway, she needs to tell her story and let Jordan know you need to tell Curtis. Because if you don't tell Curtis, I'm going to tell Curtis. But I'm going to allow you the opportunity to tell him yourself. Okay, I'm going to allow you that opportunity. And I hope that's going to go that way. But anyway, Porsha ends up having to go to the hospital to check on some patients because they're going to have this big party for Trina. So Trina, of course, is at the hospital with Ava, bedside with Ava, and Ava's machines go off. So the doctor comes in and, said her blood pressure dropped, but, she stabilized. They added some medication and she should be waking up soon. So we have Finn and Elizabeth. Finn and Elizabeth. Well, didn't you just know Elizabeth finally decides to tell Finn the truth. Tell him the truth that I have been losing time. Things are happening, and they're happening in such a way that I don't know they're happening. I can't control it. They end up discussing what could the triggers be, and she goes, I think the triggers are, first it was when I was upset with you, I would start doing this. She says, but there was the time when I was in the stairwell and you found me. You and I had not argued, and there's this trigger. There's me and this woman, and this young woman, and we're fighting. I'm telling her to stay away from my father. I think that has something to do with it. So, we shall see. They're actually finally getting down to the nitty gritty. And Elizabeth is saying, no, Finn is saying, why would Nicholas say you all were together? Or why didn't you say that? She goes, because he's lying. We weren't together at that time. He's only doing that to protect me because he knows I don't know where I was at that time. But the way Nicholas is acting, because see, every chance he gets to everybody, even to Ava. I was with Elizabeth complaining about our argument at the time my wife was stabbed. So Ava could hear it. Nicholas is the one who gave himself the alibi with Elizabeth. That's who he's protecting. He's protecting himself. And he goes around looking like this guilty weasel. Ava, no, you can't talk to my wife. She's just come, just woke up. And Ava's like, no, I want to talk to her. And Ava's talking, and the whole time Nicholas is looking down like, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? And I'm like, talk about guilty. But they're having Nicholas look so guilty right now. It can't be him. He's such an idiot. Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. So, needless to say, Jordan questions Ava. She, of course, she didn't see him. The person came from behind, but she did tell Jordan the truth that she and Nicholas had been arguing. She just didn't say what it was about. And Nicholas says, you know, us Cassadines, we argue all the time. And when she goes, but when I asked you what was her demeanor, was she upset at something? You told me no. And she's clearly saying, you all fought. She was upset. That's why she had to go get some air. So Nicholas is just looking like, oh, oops. You know, so Spencer, it was hell bent on telling Jordan that Nicholas and Esme slept together because Victor said Nicholas has an alibi. He was with Elizabeth when Ava was stabbed. So Spencer says, okay, then it won't hurt that I tell the commissioner that my father slept with Esme. I'm telling him. So he goes over and he's Jordan comes up to Porsha and Trina's leaving. She's gonna go to Ava's place at the Metro Court. She goes, oh, she's been staying at the Metro Court, which Jordan didn't know about. Remember when Jordan came out to Windermere, Ava was there, acting like she stayed there. And Trina's like, no, her stuff's at the Metro Court. That's where she's been for, you know, a little while now. And so Porsha says, well, then if that's okay, you go, take my car. And Jordan's looking like, troubles in paradise. And I have to figure out, why are they covering trouble in paradise up? Why? So Jordan is kind of on the sleuth trick, you know, trail. And as Spencer was getting ready to blurt to Jordan and say, I need to talk to you. Of course, Victor says, no, my boy, come on, let's go. So he takes Spencer to the side and he tells him, you're not going to say nothing. Period. You're not going to. You're going to keep your mouth shut. You know, and he keeps alluding, see, everything about you ends up being this Robinson girl. See, Victor is going to threaten Trina. I already know how that's going to go. But when he does that, Spencer's going to flip out. Flip out. So Victor's careful not to say too much, you know, about Trina, because Spencer will say, then I'm going to tell exactly who arranged for my escape, Uncle Victor. You know, he doesn't quite have the fear of Victor. And what's interesting, Nicholas knows Victor is deadly, but he doesn't fear. Well, you know what? Victor doesn't have one of Nicholas's loved ones. If Victor threatened Nicholas with his mother's life, then Nicholas would fear Victor. Like Victor is threatening Valentin. See, now Valentin is really afraid, because before Victor had Charlotte, Valentin was hardly afraid of him. You know? So let me cut to, we've got Carly talking to Bobby about Drew, about she don't want to rush into things, about she's developing these feelings and she doesn't want them to be developing too fast. And Bobby is like, no, Carly, you're just staying still. You know, you need to move forward. And if that's Drew, then good, but oh, blah, blah, blah. Then Drew's talking to Curtis after Porsha left. Oh, Carly. And Curtis is like, you know, stopping your life. You got back, you did this for Aurora, you did this for the Quartermains, you did this, you know, you were trying to go after Victor. When have you ever done anything for you? So he was encouraging him, you know, to see where it's going to go with he and Carly, with Drew and Carly. So, you know, they both were left like, yeah, we do kind of like each other, and you know, we want to see, you know, I am interested. So we'll see. Bottom line, it'll be cat mouse, just in time enough for Carly to fall in love with Drew and Jason come back, you know, something like that, you know, goodness gracious. Or something's gonna happen to Sonny and it's gonna draw Carly back to Sonny. So that was that. But the beautiful thing is Anna was talking to Valentin and they finally came clean with each other because she knew it had something to do with Charlotte. And he just, once she said, you would do anything to protect your daughter. And once she said that, Valentin, all his defenses, went down, that yes, my father has her. I can't go see her. I can only text her. I can call her. It's state of the art security. Sheiks send their children there, and X, Y, and Z. And so Anna says, why didn't you tell me? He goes, because I couldn't risk him finding out. And he even told her that they framed, I forget what her name is, with the Ice Princess. But she's like, well, I got to call the WSB. We got to get her out. And he goes, no, if Victor does that, he's going to hurt Charlotte. So Anna says, okay, wait. Then no WSB. I won't tell anybody. It's just going to be me and you. We're going to bring Charlotte home, and we're going to take care of Victor. We're going to take care of the situation. And he needs to say, and he ordered me to kill Laura, but I didn't do it. He needs to say that. So anyway, it was really touching how, she's really supporting him, because remember, Robin was taken away from her. Robin was supposed to have been dead when she was a child. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that have happened. Then Anna was taken away from Robin. I mean, so much, with her being separated from Robin, a large part of Robin's life, which is funny. Mac raised Georgie and Maxie and Robin. Mac raised all three of those girls. Mac is father of the year. Look, Mac raised everybody but his own son, Cody, right? Because he didn't know Cody existed. That's what's really going to happen. It's going to be Max. But that pretty much is what happened on today's episode of General Hospital. Elizabeth is getting closer, because she and Finn are really going to now try to find the triggers into what's happening. Let's go to Comment Corner, because I was glancing at Comment Corner, and I got a pretty good comment about, somebody made an observation. When I get to it, we'll talk about it. I have Lisa. She says, Trina was putting the fear of God in Nicholas. She sure was. Yeah, and it could have been done by somebody who used to love her or claimed to love her. And Nicholas is like, oh, you talking to me? Yeah, Nicholas. And so then it says, when Trina told Ava that Spencer was at the hospital waiting for her to wake up, all the alarms went off. Was it exactly what she said, Spencer? Oh, well, because look, a lot of her anger and everything, it really wasn't Spencer related. It was Nicholas related. But Spencer, let's face it, he was drunk, and he was barfing up in the bathroom. And if it was Spencer, he'd have been bloody, because he was too drunk not to get bloody. So let's see. Sasha needs to think about her blaming Brando for her choices. It's so true. Sasha, I don't know where they're getting ready to go with her. And then we got another great written recap from Susan. So if anybody wants to get a little more in depth, read Susan's comments. Great job, Susan. And then we have Robin. Robin says, let's see, wait a minute. My comments just scrolled away, went all over the place when I did that. Let's see if I can go right back to them. Robin says, I now think Elizabeth witnessed who attacked Ava. That could be. And she may have ran, which would explain the bruises on her face. That could have been, Trina loved Spencer, but after she called his name and Ava's machines went off and were beeping, now it makes sense. It will make her slow down. I don't know that she correlates the two. Hope Valentin tells Anna about Victor. Oh, she did. Sasha, stop the madness. Robin, stop the madness. Everybody has stopped believing you. I know. Everybody. Don't you believe me? No, nobody does. And I was hoping that whole scene where she came into wherever she was at was today, but it wasn't. And then we have, let me scroll down. I'm done with Liz's problems. Oh, now this is Annette. Annette says, I'm wrong. Am I wrong, or did a blonde nurse call someone and say our plan is working? Could that have something to do with Elizabeth? If in fact that happened, I'm sure it is, because trust me, I do fast forward some parts. That would explain. She's being triggered. She's being triggered. And it could be somebody at the hospital, either working with her sister. Somehow they're going to tie in how Elizabeth is being triggered. Yeah, something's happening. So if that happened, I mean, no, I'm sure it did happen, but I missed it. And look, I'm not going to go back through the episode to find it. So if anybody else remembers a nurse calling someone saying our plan is working, can you go ahead and put a comment on that? And then Annette also says, she really thought she thought Ryan had a hook hand. No, he does not have a hook hand. Okay. Oh, we got Lorraine. Lorraine is used to me doing 2 daily recaps, one, The Young and the Restless, and then of course General Hospital. So she gave a quick comment on The Young and the Restless, and I have all you folks, Shirlette, Susan, Lisa, all is saying, hey, you're talking about another show. Who's Adam? Yes, she was talking about another show. This is GH. So, and then she came back and she apologized. Yes, she did was talking about another show. I will read your comment, Lorraine, when I do the Young and the Restless daily recap. I'll go back and pick up that comment. And Linda, you said Belle, must have meant Nell. Nell is on her way back to help her sister Willow call Mama Mia. You know what? I saw on the internet Nell was supposed to be coming, they're teasing about Nell coming back. Nell is one of the few that they found her body. They found Nell's body and nobody was going to claim it. Nina had to claim it and made a funeral arrangements and all of that. So I can't see Nell coming back. How? But you know what? Look, Cassadines always come back. So even though she's not a Cassadine, in General Hospital land, she'll come back. I mean, I think if they really truly wanted to, Luke Spencer would come back because Luke's body was never found. So Luke can definitely come back. We know in some unknown year, when the COVID climate is gone, we already know Steve Burton will be back, and Jax too. So that's year or two away. People always come back. Let's see. Oh, Ron had a good spoiler, possibly. Drew could have been activated again by the Cassadine. Because if Victor is able to activate Drew, Drew would have done it and not know that he had done it, because he and Carly had separated at that time. They were both, doing other things. And Monique says her suspect list is Drew, Liz, Victor, Esme, and then AKA Dead or Not Nell. Nell did not have anything against Ava. If Nell is back from the dead, Nell would be trying to hook Carly. That's what that's about. Nell would go after Carly, not Ava. She really didn't have nothing to do with Ava. Let me see. Drew is still under mind control. Could be. Liz is having memory loss. Victor do anything to protect the Cassadine legacy. So yeah, that is so true. This chemo beauty said Nicholas is running around the hospital acting like a guilty idiot. You're so right. I think he stabbed Ava. Trina has witnessed Spencer being hurt by his father so much that she could tell by the look on his face that he's been hurt. Yeah, she truly has. I feel it's a shame that, well, Jackson Jason are off the show. Yeah, well, they'll be back. They will definitely be back. And then Sandy says Nicholas and Liz were looking guilty today with Jordan. Spencer could tell Trina what his dad did with Esme. I wish he would tell her. Yeah, that needs to be told. I hope Carly doesn't rush into a relationship with Drew. She needs time to herself to figure out what she wants and needs. Take time to yourself. Carly never is alone. I've never known a time when Carly has not been with somebody. And even though we've got, I agree, Carly is never alone. And that is the comments. That's all the comments from Comment Corner. Thank you so much for those comments. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, subscribe to this channel so you can see my daily recaps. I will be back tomorrow. Let's see if we got a cliffhanger for Cliffhanger Friday.